Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to explain a movie called He Magician's Elephant. Get comfortable. The message from The Magician's Elephant is predicated on magic and elephants, but its central theme is hope. It's about how belief itself can sometimes change us and, in some way, changes the world around us. The film is about a boy is searching for his long-lost sister and crosses paths with a fortune teller in the market square. So, he must find a mysterious elephant and the magician who will conjure it to complete 3 impossible tasks that will change the face of his town. In a film, the fortune teller tells the story of the town of Baltiz, which was once a happy-go-lucky place full of magic. However, following the Great Foreign War, the people stopped believing and magic disappeared. The Countess also lost her brother, leaving her depressed and unhappy, and the town was covered by dark clouds. The film starts an orphan boy Peter, who lives with his guardian Vilna Lutz. Lutz was a soldier in the war and had rescued Peter. On the other hand, Peter has faint memories of his infant sister and often wonders if she is still alive. Even though Lutz vehemently tells him that his sister and mother died at birth, and Lutz encourages Peter to become a soldier and lead a disciplined life. One day, Lutz sends off Peter with a coin to buy bread and fish. Along the way, Peter finds a red circus tent with a notice saying that one can get all the difficult questions answered for 1 coin, where he meets the fortune teller, who reveals that his sister is alive. However, Peter is curious about his sister's whereabouts and hands over a coin to the fortune teller, who can only answer 1 question for 1 coin. After that, Peter asks the fortune teller 1 question about how he can locate his younger sister. Then, the fortune teller vaguely tells him to follow the elephant before disappearing. Peter is confounded by this since no elephants can be seen in their town of Baltiz. When Peter returns, Lutz is angry at Peter for wasting money and shows him a book of fairy tales he stole from a young soldier during the war. In the book, the soldier, Romain Desmet, used to read these stories to remember his childhood and home. Using this example, Lutz tells Peter that fairy tales are nothing but distractions and that no elephants exist in this town. But Peter is still adamant about finding his sister. That night in town, the magician attempts a powerful trick that brings a giant elephant onto the stage and injures one of the guests, Madame L.A. Vaughn. Because of that, the public is horrified and both the magician and the elephant are imprisoned. However, Peter believes the elephant to be his compass to locate his sister, but Lutz dismisses him. Leo Machien, a kind neighbor, takes Peter to court and believes him. This causes a great uproar in the kingdom and made newspaper headlines. At the court, the Countess's advisors advise her to shoot the elephant, considering her to be a danger to the general public. Before the Countess can make the decision, Leo sends out a telegram to the king, telling him about the appearance of the elephant. The frivolous king, who has a penchant for spectacle and entertainment, at once appears in Baltiz to see the elephant. When the chained elephant is unveiled in front of everyone, she is visibly upset and begins to attack aggressively. Later, Peter realizes that her eyes are itching and carefully manages to clean them. Seeing Peter so dexterously behave with the elephant, everyone is impressed. After that, Peter reveals that the elephant is meant to guide him to his sister, and the king promises to give him the elephant if he completes 3 impossible tasks. For Peter's first task, he is made to fight the king's most formidable knight in a sword fight. During the night, Leo teaches fencing to Peter at his home. Later, Leo and his wife, Gloria, don't have any children of their own. Leo secretly suggests that they adopt Peter, but Gloria is reluctant even though she cares for Peter. On the same night, Adele is found alive at an orphanage near Baltiz and is told her brother and mother died during the war. She dreams of an elephant and tells Sister Marie about it. Meanwhile, Peter meets the elephant, who dreams of her life in the African savannas before being brought to this place by a magician's spell. The next day, Peter realizes he is supposed to fight Romain Desmet in a sword duel. He suddenly remembers that Romain Desmet was the same soldier from whom Lutz had stolen the fairy tale book to make him a better soldier. Moreover, just as the fight commences, Peter rushes back home to retrieve the fairy tale book, believing it would appease Desmet. We saw, just before Desmet can knock him off, Peter gets the book and shows it to Desmet. Seeing the book rekindles nostalgic memory in Desmet, and he throws away his sword. Therefore, he becomes grateful for his childhood book. Desmet bows before Peter and accepts defeat. Eventually, Peter's victory instills hope in the town, which had been lost after the war. After completing the first impossible task, the king orders Peter to fly into the sky. But Peter is willing to do anything to find his sister, leading Lutz to worry about him. During the night, Lutz has a dream where he recalls the horrific night when he rescued Peter. It is revealed that Lutz and his army were escaping from the enemy's bombings when Lutz came across a house with a young Peter, Sister Maria, and an infant Adele. Later, Lutz ordered them to head over to the garrison. Maria handed Peter over to Lutz as she packed the necessary stuff to care for an infant Adele. When Lutz and Peter escaped, they saw the house being bombed. Believing that Maria and Adele must have died, Lutz took Peter and escaped via a river. On the contrary, Sister Maria saw the garrison being destroyed and believed that it must have killed Peter and Lutz. Thus, while both parties managed to escape, they mistook the other to be dead. The next day, Peter climbs the cathedral building in an attempt to fly. But the king and the countess are present in the audience, along with the entire town. In the meantime, Sister Maria and Adele have also come into the town to catch a glimpse of the elephant. After that, Peter manages to jump off the building and use a parachute to fly, which enthralls the public below, and he completes his second impossible task. For his third task, the king challenges Peter to make the countess laugh the next day. Since the countess never even smiled following her brother's death, this is deemed to be his most daring task. After that, Peter comes across Adele, and they talk about the elephant, though neither is able to recognize one another. Then, Peter prepares to write a joke to make the countess laugh. He is approached by Lutz. Lutz lied about his sister's death to protect Peter from the war. However, Peter forgives Lutz and tells him that his sister might still be alive, and finally, Lutz reaffirms the boy's faith. That night, Peter goes to visit the elephant, and he has a dream where he sees her remembering her family in Africa. Although, Peter realizes he is not the only one who is missing his family and vows to take the elephant back to her home. The next day, Peter presents his joke to the court to make the countess laugh. However, his joke about a fisherman and a farmer fails to land. But the king is not convinced and refuses to give the elephant to Peter. Peter protests, but the king orders his guards to shoot the elephant. In a moment, just as the guards are about to shoot the elephant down, the fortune teller appears, and the time stops, with all the action on screen freezing. By breaking the fourth wall, the fortune teller tells us to believe that even the impossible can be made possible. So, she takes a cat and sprays some pepper on it. The cat is then placed just near the elephant. Later, the fortune teller resumes the time, and the elephant sniffs the black pepper on the cat. Due to this, the elephant lets out a huge sneeze and spraying all her booger and mucus onto the king. We saw the king covered in slime, and after saw this the countess finally laughs, fulfilling Peter's third impossible task. Later, the king is pacified by this and gives the elephant to Peter. However, Peter wishes to take the elephant back to her place and requests the incarcerated magician to use a spell to transport her. After that, the elephant is taken to the top of the hill, where the entire town bids her farewell, including Adele, Sister Maria, and Lutz. However, Peter's heroic deeds revive hope in the town, and the magician casts a spell to make the elephant disappear. When the elephant disappears, the clouds that have overshadowed Baltese also begin to melt, bringing back sunlight and joy into the town. Eventually, owing to Peter's bravery and heroic deeds, the townsfolk dared to dream again. Just as the town is celebrating, Sister Marie and Lutz come across each other, instantly recognizing one another. At the end, as they see Adele and Peter on each side, Marie and Lutz realize that both the children survived the war. Peter and Adele recognize that they are siblings and embrace. At last, we follow Peter, Adele, Lutz, Leo, and Gloria feasting together and enjoying themselves, each of them content with their perfect family. Meanwhile, the elephant is back in Africa with her group and fondly remembers her time with Peter. Eventually, the elephant helped reunite Peter and Adele, bringing the story to a happy conclusion. So, that was all from the video. Please, give us a suggestion of movies you want us to upload next. Thank you for watching and being part of our family. Just to let you know, we are posting videos every day for you. Please subscribe to give us more motivation, and you will not miss our daily video.